Good afternoon, everyone. This time I'd like to call the Board of Education Public Input meeting to order. I would like to ask our board members to identify themselves for the record. Todd Ferrante is present. William Buchanan.
Present.
Katie Addis.
Present.
John Andes.
Present.
William Gordy.
Present.
Elena McComas.
Present.
And Donald Smack.
Present.
We do have a quorum. Can I have a motion to approve today's meeting agenda and a second?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Smack and a second by Ms. McComas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, I need a motion to enter into closed session under general provisions of Article 3-305B of the Annotated Code of Maryland for the following reasons. To approve closed session minutes, Section 3-305B9 to discuss matters related to negotiations, and Section 3-305B10 to discuss school safety. Can I have a motion to enter into closed session and a second?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Smack,
Second, Bill Gordy.
a second by Mr. Gordy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now in closed session. This Board of Education meeting to order. I want to remind everyone that we do have a quorum. A closed session meeting was held today pursuant to general provisions of Articles 3-305B of the Annotated Code of Maryland to approve previous closed session minutes, to discuss matters related to negotiations, and to discuss school safety. Tonight, it is our budget input meeting. So all speakers here tonight to talk to our input meeting, we will be calling you forward. I'd like to ask Mr. Tolbert to lead us in the invocation today, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrante. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you so much for your many wonderful blessings. We thank you for blessing us with another wonderful day. We thank you for everyone here who's come out to participate in this meeting. We're so thankful for our wonderful school system, Lord, for all of our students, all of our staff, our teachers who work so hard to make sure our students have what they need every single day. We thank you for all the great things that are happening in our school system, Lord, and ask for your continued blessings and safety. We ask for your continued wisdom and guidance as we start to build this budget for next year, Lord. Let's be able to work together with everybody involved and to put together a budget that continues to meet the needs of our students and staff. We thank you, Lord, for all your many wonderful blessings, and ask you, Lord, to always remember, let us always remember, Lord, during this special season, that your Son Jesus is the reason for the season. All this we ask in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Vince, thank you for that invocation. It was beautiful. So on behalf of the entire Board of Education, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's coming out tonight to share your ideas and requests for our upcoming fiscal year 2025 budget. We do truly appreciate you all being here with us this evening. We appreciate the support as well as the feedback that we receive from the community in regards to our school system, whether it's a formal meeting like tonight or an email, or even when we see you in the supermarket. We would like to hear from you. So please know that we take your comments to heart, and we will continue to do our best to represent the thoughts and the feelings of thousands of you across this beautiful county. And as we continue to discuss and finalize the FY 2025 budget. So again, thank you for being here. And now I'd like to turn it over to our superintendent, Mr. Taylor, for his comments.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrante. First, I'd like to also extend my thanks to everyone who is joining us tonight for this budget input hearing. Each year, I continue to be overwhelmed by the support we have from our teachers, administrators at both the school and county level, and by the number, and I say number because I hear from them all the time, of our families wishing to lend their voice to our budget discussions. As Mr. Ferrante said, both the Board of Education and our leadership team truly value the feedback of our school system community. And this meeting tonight is a great example of that. I am proud to have the opportunity to hear from our schools how we can best support learning in our educational environments here in Worcester County. Despite the challenges of rising costs across our county, one thing is clear. Our school system community remains committed to providing the best education possible for the 6,700 young people who attend our schools. That commitment starts with our teachers. And I can tell you after 40 years, I am proud of our teachers here in Worcester County. As it is every budget cycle, ensuring that we can continue to recruit and retain excellent teachers is our number one and highest priority. This is achieved through the ability to offer a competitive salary package, which is vitally important, and benefits. We also recognize the need to ensure our infrastructure, both physically and technologically, are sound. As I have said many times now, and as we saw last month during a presentation at the board meeting, our investment in technology has been game-changing for our system. But as we all know, technology continues to evolve at a rapid pace, so we will continue to be forward-thinking so we can ensure our classrooms and our IT structure are fully equipped to handle each exciting new wave of learning technology. And with that, I would like to again say thank you for everyone present here and those viewing our live stream tonight. And I would like to extend a special thanks and heartfelt thank you to both Mr. Tolbert, my executive team, and Mr. Tolbert's team for their hard work as they do too put together a school system budget that meets the needs of our students. And then also a special thank you to Carrie Steers, who helps us with the technology. It is a difficult and an incredibly important job, and I am proud that we have such an amazing team here in Worcester County to keep us moving forward and in the right direction. Now back to you, Mr. Ferrante.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Appreciate those comments. And now I'd like to ask Mr. Joe Price to come forward and give us an update on the Buckingham Elementary School project. Mr. Price. Thank you.
This afternoon, we received a preliminary IAC staff 75% recommendation for our FY25 CIP. The IAC staff is recommending preliminary funding approval of the Snow Hill Middle Cedar Chapel roof project and preliminary approval of the design funding request for the Pocomoke Elementary roof project. The staff provided a C funding status for the Buckingham Replacement School project, and C means deferred and not currently eligible for planning or funding approval pending IAC review or unresolved LEA issues. The IAC staff did not provide the Buckingham project a D funding status. D means denied and not eligible for planning or funding approval, so the window for Buckingham IAC approval remains open. We'll submit a written appeal to the IAC, and on December 14th, Mr. Taylor and Senator Carrozza will appear before the IAC via Zoom to provide our appeal to the IAC staff recommendations. The next round, the 90% recommendations, are scheduled to be released on March 1st. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Price. I want to make sure the board knows that we've received this today. Mr. Price was in my office at 3 o'clock. We just received this today, and I wanted to keep you in the loop as I promised before. And I also want to share with you that this information will go over to the county commissioners first thing tomorrow morning. So I'm communicating with them as well.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Price? No? Dr. Andes? Nothing?
No, I don't have any questions for Mr. Price. Just once again, it's deja vu all over again, and that is going to the county, going to the state and begging them for money, and begging them for money, and begging them for money, and then they end up giving us about 26 or 27% of the cost of the school or facility. Then the rest goes on the taxpayers of Worcester County based on the funding formula that they have. It's very frustrating for all of us. I know Mr. Price and the entire team has worked very hard in trying to convince the staff of the IAC to provide the necessary funding that they should and ought to provide for the Buckingham Elementary School project. And again, it's frustrating for me to once again have to go through this process, argue with the state, go back and forth and back and forth. When I was superintendent of schools, we did this 5 times for 5 major projects, and it just seems to get old after a while. It just seems to get old after a while that we're building a quality facility for our students in Worcester County, and once again, the state's not supporting us. Once again, the state is not supporting us. So I'm very hopeful that on December 14th, when our team goes up to appear before the entire IAC, that we'll get a good result, and more money will be flowing from the state to our county to support the Buckingham Elementary School project, because the community and the children and the staff and the faculty, everyone at Buckingham deserves a new facility. And it's about time the state steps up and pays their fair share. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Andes. Mr. Price, thank you. Appreciate the update.
I had a quick question.
Yes,
If,
Joe?
Not really per se for Joe, or maybe Dr. Andes or Superintendent Taylor. If constituents or if anyone in our audience or anyone in our county is interested in helping the appeal process by writing a letter, who would they potentially do that to voice their frustrations with this whole process as well?
Alex Donahue, who's the head of the IAC.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep, Alex
They
Donahue.
could write a letter to him.
Okay.
And let me remind you too that Mr. Price, myself, Senator Carozza, Delegate Hartman, Delegate Otto, and I can't remember who else was in, we all have met too the first time, and this door opened back up for us to get, and as Dr. Andy shared with you, it's a process. But we are still very hopeful that we're moving down the right road, but we can't let off the accelerator on this, and that's what will happen on December the 14th.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Tolbert for the budget overview.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Ferrante. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second most highly anticipated evening in the month of December, the Worcester County Public Schools Budget Input Meeting. So I'm just going to share some current year budget information and also share some of the information we're looking at for next year as we look for FY25. Lovely Miss Carrie Steers is going to run the PowerPoint for me. Thank you, Carrie. Our current year operating budget is $125,646,391. The capital outlay budget this year is $100,000, and school construction is $815,000, and that is all allocated to the Buckingham Elementary School schematic design fees. Next slide, Carrie. Sources of revenue for this year, as you can see in this graph, our county school system continues to be very highly dependent on our county government for our funding, and almost 70% comes from the county government. About 17% comes from state aid, 13.7% from the federal government, and just 0.6% from other. Next slide is kind of a fact check. Worcester County had a budget surplus last year of $1.5 million. That equates to about 1.24% of our annual operating budget of $125 million. To put that in perspective, if you had household income of $50,000, 1.24% means you had $600 left in your checking account at year end. So it was not a huge surplus. It's actually a best recommended practice to have some type of surplus when you end the year. And why should we have a surplus? Well, because we don't know what's going to happen throughout the year. When we build this budget now, we're building it now in January, December, January, February. It's going to end 18 months later. We don't know what's going to happen over those 18 months. We don't know with fuel supplement for our bus contractors. We had that last year. In the month of December, it was 32 cents at the highest. If it had stayed at 32 cents for the whole year, it would have been $500,000 just in fuel supplement for our bus contractors. Special education. In some instances, we can't meet the needs of our special education students, and they have to be placed in out-of-county placement. That can be as much as $150,000 per student if they're placed out of county. We don't know when we're building this budget in January, February, what students are going to show up in September of next year and what those needs are going to be. Snow removal. We have about $3,000 we budget every year for snow removal because we don't get a lot of snow around here usually. In this winter of 2009 and 10, we had a series of excessive snowstorms. We spent $100,000 in snow removal in 2009 and 10. We actually cleared roofs because roofs were caving in Delaware because of the heavy snow. So that's why we have a surplus. We need it in case things come up. School systems can't end the year in a deficit in Maryland. It's against the law. You can't end in a deficit. So we had some money left over. The county had directed us that any money left over would be paid to OPEB. So we wrote a check back to the county for those funds above the 567 that we needed to come forward to keep our budget whole for FY25. So after the audit was finalized, we wrote a check to the county for the $1 million for the OPEB. We had requested that, hey, can we use some of that money to restore some of the cuts that we made? Can we put some money back in MOI for the schools? Can we restore the summer school, after school programs? And we were told, no, we really need to get that money back to OPEB, and that's what we did. So no money was hidden, no money was found. It's part of the annual process. It's the best recommended practice from the Governmental County Standards Board to have a surplus. So any questions on that before I move forward? There's been a lot of conversation out there. I bet that wanted to clear it up before we moved on.
Understand what OPEB is?
OPEB is other post-employment benefits. What it is, it's the retirement cost, health insurance retirement cost for our retirees. And what happened is years ago, back in like 2004, maybe even longer than that, the Governmental County Standards Board said, look, you've got this huge liability out there for your retirees for health insurance when they retire. you've got to start reporting that liability on your books. So it is a big liability. So right now, we're trying to fund that liability as each year as we move forward, and the county commissioners have requested that any money we have left over at year end go towards that LOPEB liability. Does that kind of explain it? Okay. You're welcome. Expenditures by category. As you can see, the majority of our budget, special education at 10%, instructional programs at 42.9%, mid-level administration, which is basically our principals, our assistant principals, our school secretaries, at 7.1%, and 21.2% of fixed charges. The majority of our budget is people. You'll see that even more as we move on. Next slide, Carrie. This is some more expenditures by category, and as you can see in this slide, the blue line is instructional programs. That's at the top. The yellow line is fixed charges, and the blue line is special education. So the majority of our expenses are in those three areas. They've been relatively flat for the past 5 years. There's been no huge increases in our operating budget. Next slide, Clary. As I said, large portion of our budget is people. 86.5% is actually our employees, and that's broken down by this next slide. 86.5% is salaries and fixed charges. 7.1% is contracted services, which is largely our bus contractors. Other charges are 3.5%. The majority of that is our utilities that we pay, electricity, fuel oil, propane for our schools. And what are salaries and fixed charges? Well, it's full-time employees. It's the salaries we negotiate with our unions. It's extra duty pay for our athletic coaching, our clubs and activities. It's PD for compensation outside the workday. It's substitute pay, limiting disruptions to instruction. And it's the compensation package, which includes benefits, health insurance, FICA, which is basically Medicare and Social Security tax, the employer share, tuition reimbursements, those kind of things. And as I said earlier, 75% of the contracted services are to our bus contractors. Move on, Carrie. And other contracted services include but are not limited to HVAC repairs, trash removal, audit services, legal services, the Xerox copy releases for our Xerox machines in our schools, special education, behavioral health services, private duty nursing. All those things are included in contractual services outside of the bus contractors. This next slide shows starting teacher pay. And as you can see, Worcester County this year in FY24 at $50,275 is last in the state in starting teacher salary. So I never thought I would see Worcester at last at starting teacher salary, but that's where we are in FY24. This next slide shows free and reduced meals. As you can see, Worcester in the yellow at 52.46% is above the state average of 50.65%. And we continue to have an issue of poverty in Worcester County, unfortunately. But according to the state, next slide, Carrie, we received the lowest amount of state aid at $4,287 per pupil, which is well below the state average of $87.61. And the reason why is because wealth per pupil, when the state looks at wealth, they look at assessable base. The assessable base in Ocean City and our number of students looks at our wealth per pupil at $1.4 million, which is well above the state average of $680,000. And that's why we receive such a low amount of state aid in Worcester County, even though we have such a high poverty level. This per pupil spending, as you can see right now for the 2020-21 year, 21-22 year, Worcester ranked third at $19,112 per pupil. Somerset and Dorchester were both ahead of us. Move on to the next slide, Carrie. And this is the per pupil spending, $19,000 broken down. And Carrie, you can highlight it, can't you? Okay. Well, anyway, the majority of it, the blue area is the instructional programs, and the yellowish area at the top is fixed charges. So as you can see, the majority of our funding is spent in employees. This next slide shows the class size average in the state. In Worcester right now is at 15.32 average. The state average is 19.16. So we have long believed that the reason for our success in Worcester County Public Schools is our low class sizes. We always consistently score in the top in all the state tests. We do well on all the AP assessments and other things, and we think it is because of the low class sizes. And the low class sizes do cost money. It is expensive. But we strongly believe, and we have for a long time, that's why we're so successful. For FY25, as we start to build the budget for next year, these are some things we're looking at with estimated cost. A step increase next year is going to cost $1.2 million. That's the cost for all employees that are eligible to get a step. A cost of living adjustment, every 1%, costs about $758,000. We had not started negotiations yet with our teachers. We'll start that in a couple of weeks. Health insurance, that cost is to be determined. Those rates won't be finalized until probably February or early March. The blueprint, everybody's heard about the blueprint. These are the 5 pillars with some of the costs that we're seeing associated with the blueprint. Under early childhood education, so far $850,000 for 5 teachers and 5 educational assistants. Under high quality and diverse teachers, the starting teacher salary has to be, by law in the blueprint, by FY27, which is 3 years, 25, 26, and 27, has to be at $60,000. And I just showed you we're at $50,275. So to get to $60,000 in 3 years, it's going to require 6% COLAs across the board to get to $60,000. Also under high quality, diverse teachers and leaders, the NBC teachers, blueprint says once you get your NBC, you get $10,000 extra added onto your salary. This year we have, I think, Dr. App, 25 in the cohort to go through their national board certification process. If they all receive that certification this year, that's $260,000 more to our budget. Under college and career readiness pathways, dual enrollment is $320,000. As you know, the school system now pays 100% for those dually enrolled students. $40,000 for advanced placement this year. And career counselors, which were mandated by the blueprint, is $395,000 in our budget this year that we're paying in FY24 that we didn't have before. Under resources to ensure every student succeeds, behavioral health positions are $500,000 that we're spending now for those type of positions under the blueprint law. Next slide, Carrie. All right, what is maintenance of effort? Well, maintenance of effort basically was established in 1984, and it basically says that the local county government has to provide the school system the same level of funding on a per pupil basis next year as it did this year. So it means if your enrollment's going up slightly, you might get a little bit more. If your enrollment's going down, you're going to get a little bit less. There's no allowance for any kind of increase for inflationary increases, salary increases, health insurance increases, utility price, nothing's accounted for in maintenance of effort for that. Next slide, Gary. So in FY24, the current year, what did MOE result in? Well, we had to go back and renegotiate with our teachers and with our staff. They got less than what we negotiated in the beginning. We had to do budget cuts and reductions, as you know, to tutoring, after school and summer school programs, materials of instruction for our schools were cut, and more were impacted. As we start to build the budget for FY25, we're starting about $1.6 million in the hole from the cuts that we made in FY24. So just to get back where we were, it's about $1.6 million that we'd have to come up with. That's what MOE has done so far. These are some scenarios that we're starting to look at as we start to build the budget. Scenario 1 is a salary step and no COLA. That has a potential budget shortfall of $3.9 million. Scenario 2 would be a salary step and a 2% COLA. That would be a shortfall of $5.8 million right now with MOE funding. Scenario 3, a salary step and 4% with MOE funding would be $7.45 million shortfall. And the last scenario would be a step in 6, which will require us to get to the $60,000 starting teacher salary, is over $9.2 million shortfall. So any questions from the board or?
So, well, thank you for that comprehensive review.
Sure.
We appreciate that, and I want to open it up to my board members that may have questions for you. Dr. Andes?
Now, I just have a statement to just clarify so that everyone understands wealth-based formula. And anytime the state decides they're going to distribute money based on wealth, since Worcester County is considered by the state the wealthiest county in the state of Maryland, we receive the lowest amount of state aid. So anytime the state is distributing money based on wealth, whether it's through the foundation formula, the comp ed formula, or through the blueprint formula, we receive the lowest amount of state aid. And that's, I think, critically important for everyone to understand that impact of the wealth-based formula on Worcester County Public Schools. And over the years, we have argued with the state about that. And if you would like more information about that, stay afterward and I'll explain all the arguments we've made over the years and everything we've tried to do over the years and failed on so many occasions. But stay afterward and I'll be happy to explain that. But I think it's critically important that everyone understands that the state thinks Worcester County is the wealthiest county in the state. And when they provide state aid, we get the lowest amount. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Vince, I do want to ask you one thing. You know, as we've been reviewing the cost per pupil, one of the things that caught my eye is obviously Stephen Decatur High School, which has an average, their enrollment there is about 1,430 kids versus Snow Hill and Pocomoke. And one of the reasons that some of the cost per pupil is so high, and you can fill us in on this, is because of that disparity. Because I know that both Snow Hill High School and Pocomoke High School has a much higher cost per pupil than Stephen Decatur.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Mr. Ferrante. If you remember, years ago, our county commissioners decided to build a new Snow Hill and a new Pocomoke, which we're glad they did. There was talk, to be honest with you, at that time, let's build one combined school out on 113 for Snow Hill and Pocomoke. That lasted for about 30 seconds. And then the commissioners from Pocomoke and Snow Hill at the time said, we're not doing that. They each deserve their own school, which they did, and we built those schools. But when you have small high schools, it is more expensive to run those schools. We try very hard to offer the same programs to the kids in Snow Hill and Pocomoke they offer at Decatur. We want them to have exposure to the AP programs. We want them to have the sports and the programs that they have at Decatur High School. But it is more expensive. So that is part of driving our costs higher. But I think it was the right decision. I'm glad we did it. But it is part of why the costs are higher, Mr. Ferrante.
Right. Thank you for
You're welcome.
explaining that. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Tolbert? Okay, Mr. Tolbert, thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
that
you, sir.
review.
Thank
And now I'm going to get to community participation. And I'd like to ask from Shaw Elementary, Emily Gilman, to come up first for her request. Emily, thank you. Please make sure that you speak into the mic so that everybody on the live stream can hear you. Thank you so much.
Tap that mic. Just tap it to make sure it's on.
Good?
Good.
Awesome. My name is Emily Gelman. I live on Charleston Road in Ocean Pines. I have 3 wonderful kids, all attending Shall Elementary, whose brand new walls, with its high ceiling and many colors, make it undeniably beautiful. However, its outer beauty fades in comparison to its inner beauty, which is the students and staff in its hallways. I want to thank the board for getting us to this point. Thank you for giving us a brand new building and filling it with beautiful staff. It is a wonderful learning environment for our students. Today, I am urging you to keep that beautiful staff with a competitive salary and continue to hire enough staff to keep our class sizes down. In light of only getting the maintenance of effort budget last year, I have felt a sense of unease this year. I worry teachers might be tempted to job hunt. And I start to really panic when I think if it passes again. I think about the cuts and losses. I imagine it could be the last straw for some of our staff. I imagine teachers applying for higher paying jobs in counties mere 30 minutes away. I imagine great teachers where you're missing out on that don't want to be the lowest paid starting teacher in the state of Maryland. And worst of all, I imagine students in oversized classrooms not getting the education that they deserve. Whether you have a student at, below, or exceeding in grade level, they deserve proper management to meet their educational needs. Our new walls of shall are pointless if we can't meet our budget goals. We need quality staff, and we need manageable class sizes. I really can't thank you enough for all that you have done, but I understand that this is a huge budget year, and all of us here are depending on you to make positive changes. All Worcester County schools are counting on you. We need our supply closets filled again. We need advanced learning tools in our students' hands. We need innovative programming for them. And we need you to take our vital after-school and summer school programs off the chopping block. Members of the board, I'm not wise to see how you're exactly going to do it, and I'm sure it will take more meetings and countless hours. But I do have confidence in you. I believe that all of you have the brains, the ingenuity, and work ethic to figure out a way to make this budget work with our county. So we are all asking, now is the time. We need you to take action and make Worcester County, the entire school system, an undeniably beautiful place to teach and learn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Ocean City Elementary, Mike Ewing. Good, how are you?
Good evening, board members, Mr. Taylor and the executive team. My name is Mike Ewing, and I live in Berlin, Maryland. It is a privilege to be speaking with you this evening as a proud Worcester County public school parent. I have two daughters who attend Ocean City Elementary School, Lucy, who is in kindergarten, and Claire, who is in first grade. My wife and I have been nothing but happy and impressed by the quality of education my girls are receiving. Ocean City is one of the top elementary schools in the state of Maryland, and it is truly such an amazing opportunity to send them there. I want to thank all of you for what you do to take care of our children. You're always in support of what is right for the children and the staff of Worcester County Public Schools. However, I request of you to make your voices heard amongst the commissioners, and please do not settle for anything less than what is best for this county. It is with humble gratitude that I thank you for putting students first and making them your priority. This evening, Ocean City Elementary School is requesting the following. 1, please continue strong efforts towards maintaining small class sizes. If staffing is cut, it means larger class sizes, and as a parent, I cannot accept that for my girls. We hope that, number 2, we hope that summer school programs for non-grant funded schools will be restored. Summer school programs work with close to 100 students, and its importance is invaluable. 3, please continue to push for a competitive salary package for employees to help recruit, hire, and retain high-quality staff. WCPS is the best, and we don't want them going elsewhere. 4, and finally, please ensure materials of instruction money is restored. Thank you for listening and considering our requests, and thank you for always going above and beyond for Worcester County Public Schools students and staff. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up from Buckingham Elementary, Elizabeth Calabrese. Good evening.
I'm Elizabeth Calabrese, and I reside on Powell Circle in Berlin, and I'm a SIAC member, and I'm representing Buckingham Elementary School. My daughter Jane is a first grade student at BES, and my son will start pre-K4 there next year. And I appreciate the opportunity to present tonight, and I appreciate the board's continued efforts on behalf of the students and the faculty of Worcester County. Buckingham SIAC has identified the following budget requests for next year. The same thing that we've talked about earlier, the salaries, they need to be competitive, and the size of the student classes. We want to ensure the funding that supports Worcester County's efforts to retain, recruit, and hire the best teachers, and we don't want to keep losing teachers to neighboring counties that have higher pay. So we have to figure out a way to offer teachers competitive salaries. We also are a top-performing school system, and it's essential that we keep the class sizes low, just like everybody else has asked so far. It's the best environment for teaching and for learning. We want to maintain the small class sizes for which BES is known. The last item that we want to talk about, that I want to talk about, is the pre-K classes. We have pre-K 3 at BES, and we added an additional class this year. We're still at capacity, and we have a wait list for our pre-K 3. This program is important in ensuring the readiness of all the students entering kindergarten, and it's imperative that we have funds to continue this expanded pre-K 3 program. Again, I'd like to thank the board for your dedication to the students and to the teachers of Worcester County, and for your strong support of our new school. Thanks.
Thank you so much. The Snow Hill Elementary School, Andrew Banney.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Andrew Bonney, and I represent Snow Hill Elementary School. I currently have a kindergartner in Mrs. Molinos' class at Snow Hill Elementary. His name is Noah. Noah has attended Snow Hill Elementary since he was 3 years old. While attending Snow Hill Elementary, he has received services such as speech, occupational therapy, and other basic skills to help him catch up with his peers. My wife and I are loving, caring parents and did our best to create a creative learning environment for Noah, but at age 3, he was on an IEP and was nearly nonverbal. Through our experience through Snow Hill Elementary School, we have learned it takes a village to raise a child. Noah was given access to a variety of teachers and professionals. These educators not only passed on their knowledge to Noah, but also shared different strategies and activities that my wife and I could implement in our household to help nurture Noah's growth and allow him to thrive. Noah immediately showed improvement, and by the end of pre-K 4, he tested out of his IEP. Due to Noah's success through his Snow Hill experience, I would like to speak on 3 topics. First is to ask to fully fund the pre-K 3 program. Noah is an only child. My wife and I were very thankful for the opportunity for Noah to start the pre-K 3 program because it afforded him the chance to learn and grow next to peers while developing very important communication and social skills. As a parent, I felt blessed because my wife and I were able to maintain full-time jobs because of the program, as well as having an extra year to just get used to the education process. Learn the layout of the school, see what Noah sees as far as hallways and classrooms, meet the teachers and other parents, just start the process of building relationships that lead to a community or a village raising a child. With a fully funded pre-K 3 program, my hope is that other children will grow and flourish as my son has. Next, I would like to mention that if the county passes a maintenance of effort budget for the school system, it will mean staffing cuts. Staffing cuts will lead to larger class sizes. For Noah, the small class size experience has been instrumental to his success. He has received specific individualized care that targeted exactly what he's needed to allow Noah to catch up to his peers. I think personalized care for your child is a concept any parent can rally behind. My last topic I would like to discuss is teacher wage. Worcester County currently has the lowest starting salary in the entire state. This was concerning to learn because I was so thankful for all the time and effort that my family has received from the entire network at Snow Hill Elementary School. Considering the staff have gone above and beyond with the care of my family, it is easy for me to advocate for a competitive salary and benefits package for the teachers and support staff. It would be a shame to lose such wonderful educators to neighboring counties for better compensation. I would prefer to see proper salary and benefits for those who have done so much to continue to care for my son Noah. In closing, I would like to thank you all for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up is Pocomoke Elementary, Willie Brown. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Board members and executive team, my name is Willie Brown, and I reside at 333 Winter Quarters Drive in the beautiful Pocomoke City, Maryland. My 2 kids, Willie and Lydia, attend Pocomoke Elementary School. Willie is in the 3rd grade, and Lydia is in the 2nd grade. I cannot begin to explain how grateful I am for the quality of instruction and the love that has been given to them at Pocomo Elementary School. I would like to first thank for making the school system the best in the state year after year. The value that you have placed on recruiting and maintaining qualified teachers and creating small class aligns with the Pocomo Elementary School request. It is clear that school system goal is to have give every student the skill, the knowledge, and experience that they need to be successful no matter where they live in the county. In order to keep this system performing at such high level, we have to recruit and retain the best teachers, leaders, staff members. So I ask that we continue to make this the highest priority as you work with our funding sources. Our next request is to maintain small class sizes. Pocomo Elementary School, enrollment has grown quite a bit over the few years and will continue to grow as years come. According to the data, the number of challenging students come to the school with this imperative understanding of learning is needed for maintaining small class sizes to meet student needs. Small class sizes are a critical element that elevates Worcester County and makes the district far more successful from our neighbor districts. If the county passes a maintenance of effort budget, we will lose positions, increase class sizes, and our county will be less desirable for teachers, students, and family. Our final request is an additional special education teacher. As enrollment increases, so does the number of students with disability and special needs. Pocomo Elementary School needs an additional highly qualified special educator to give our most challenged special educated students an opportunity for learning equal with their peers. This educator will provide early intervention to students, which will break down barriers and support student success for many years to come. The early we intervene, the better we are. Please fight for our students, our families, and our communities. I would like to conclude by sincerely thanking you all for your continuous efforts to moving our system forward and giving Worcester County Public School students the opportunity they deserve. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Cedar Chapel Special School, Megan Leonard.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, and thank you for everybody for coming. My name is Megan Leonard. I live in Ocean City, Maryland. I'm a proud parent of Mary Christopher Morrissey, who also attends Cedar Chapel Special School. Let's see. Ever since Merrick has been attending Cedar Chapel, we have seen huge impact in his motivation, behavior, speech, and overall his ability to connect. Cedar Chapel has been nothing but a good godsend to our child life and others around him. What Cedar Chapel provides for my son comes home with a big smile and nothing but good reports on his daily progress. Every staff member cares deeply about each other's sons and daughters and deserves far above and beyond what they get now. It says, please provide responsible salary package for the teachers and staff. These special boys and girls need these wonderful teams for their quality education that is definitely needed and deserved. Please pay the wonderful staff the budgeting that they deserve. If the teachers and staff don't make what they need, they will have to relocate and will locate and disturb the turnover access rates of our children. It would cost more to find and train and hire new staff. Worcester County teachers make the less amount in Maryland, even though they are the highest paid performance in the state, as we've constantly heard. This shows how dedicated the teachers and staff are in our kids' education. This will not last, unfortunately. They are already short-staffed as it is, taking jobs in other counties with bonuses that make them way higher for them to obviously move. Well, paid teachers are more motivated, satisfied, and educated, and that can possibly impact students' performance and success to make them grow and become what we need them to be. Worcester County parents want for their children, says for class sizes. Keeping class sizes at the rate are now will keep the success rate and students high. However, in another year, if the class sizes increase due to the manufacturing of effort funding issues, teachers and other teachers as well and mental health services will not meet the incredible needs that the students need for their special abilities. All staff's already stretched to the limit, learning and then being grateful for the impact of taking care of the students that they do each and every single day. Also, another impact would be the playground. Having them to be able to do what they want, from wheelchairs to just being able to be a part of all of the activities. That would be a really, really big help. As for my personal notes, Worcester County would need access to phase, so increase provide of all students, regardless of their physical disabilities, including wheelchair access, flooring, and bid equipment. That's pretty much all I have written down, just the bottom line. Being there and working with the kids as well, and seeing my son thrive, and seeing what other kids can't do with limited stuff, just makes me want to just put out the word to know that we also would need that help too as well at Cedar Chapel Special Needs School, please. I could say so much more, but I'm already shaking, so I'm sorry, everybody.
Sorry.
If you guys have any questions or anything like that for me, I'm so sorry. I've never done anything like this before, but it's for my son, so.
You did a great job.
You did a great job, thank you. Next up, Berlin Intermediate, Kim Jackson.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Kimberly Jackson. I am from and reside in Whaleyville, Maryland. No matter how many times I come up here, I'm always nervous, so I have to. I am the parent of a 5th grade student at Berlin Intermediate School, where I'm also a member of our SIAC. I'm also a proud graduate of the Worcester County Public School System. I am here tonight to present our school requests for fiscal year 2025. Our first request is to maintain small class sizes. We are at risk of losing our small classroom sizes in the county if the county passes a maintenance of effort budget. Passing this will mean staffing cuts. Our county has been educationally successful because of our low student to teacher ratio in our classes. Maintaining small class sizes in our schools is crucial for fostering personalized learning experiences, encouraging teacher-student interaction, and ultimately enhancing education outcomes for every student. We can do this by fulfilling our second request, which is to offer competitive salary packages for employees to help recruit and retain high-quality, diverse staff. Offering competitive salary packages is essential to attract high-quality staff. Adequate compensation not only recognizes the value of individual contributions, but also promotes a work environment that reflects and respects the diversity of talent, fostering a more inclusive and thriving workplace. Worcester County currently has the lowest starting teacher salary in the entire state of Maryland. If we cannot offer competitive packages, we are going to lose great teachers to our neighboring counties where they can be financially compensated. Our final request tonight is to increase the pay for substitutes. Investing in a steady substitute pool is a strategic decision that promotes a positive school environment, supports teachers' well-being, and ultimately contributes to the consistent and effective delivery of education. Having a consistent substitute staff, having a consistent substitute staff contributes to the overall well-being of the teaching staff. Knowing that there is reliable backup support allows teachers to take necessary sick leave or attend professional development without the worry of leaving classes unattended. A reliable substitute pool also ensures that learning objectives are met even when the regular classroom teacher is temporarily absent. In addition to these school-wide requests, we do have one capital request to replace our cracked sidewalk at the front of our school. I close tonight thanking you all for your time, kindness, and consideration for the needs of our school. Thank you, and good to see you all again.
Nice to see you. Next up from Pocomoke Middle School, Nisa Brown.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Board of Education members and executive team. I am Nisa Brown, and I reside on Cedar Street in Pocomoke City, Maryland. As a parent of Pocomoke Middle School 7th grader McKenna and a 1999 graduate of Pocomoke High School and a resident of the friendliest town on the Eastern Shore. Since my family moved here in 1993 to a neighborhood commonly referred to as a hotspot, I care deeply about how things are going in our local schools. Worcester County Public Schools are a pillar of educational excellence that provides my daughter and her peers with the knowledge, skills, and opportunities they need to succeed. Our teachers and support staff at Pocomoke Middle School play an essential role in shaping the minds of countless students. However, if the commissioners pass a maintenance of effort budget, this would undoubtedly have a detrimental impact on the quality of education my child and others will receive. This will leave a lasting impact for years to come. A maintenance of effort budget would mean increased class sizes, cutting positions due to a lack of sufficient funding results in fewer teachers, making it challenging for our educators to provide the individualized attention and support to our students they need to thrive academically. Reduced or cut programs. Summer programs and after-school programs are essential and play a vital role fostering well-rounded individuals with diverse skills and interests. Grant funding allows for some schools to have summer and after-school programs, but not all schools. Some students may never experience these programs if they are eliminated due to a lack of funding. Employee salary package. Competitive and fair salaries are crucial to recruiting and retaining experienced and skilled employees. Our county currently has the lowest starting teacher salary in the state of Maryland, as we've already heard. Without adequate compensation, we risk continuing to lose valuable employees to neighboring counties, impacting the stability and continuity to our schools. I understand that budget decisions are challenging and tough decisions must be made. However, I implore you to prioritize the future of our children and the continued success of all Worcester County public schools. The success of our school district relies on the continued dedication and excellence of our employees, and I trust that you will make decisions that reflect our shared commitment to the well-being of our county. Cutting funding hurts all students, especially those who live in the hot spots of the most southern and often forgotten town of Worcester County. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up from Snow Hill Middle School is Amanda Bunting.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
So good evening. My name is Amanda Bunting, and I'm going to represent Snow Hill Middle School.
I currently have a 4th grader at Snow Hill Middle School, and I have 2 daughters at Snow Hill Elementary School. Their names are Kylie, Lily, and Jade. My husband and I both graduated from Worcester County Public Schools ourselves. Miss Wallace, my principal. Mr. Buchanan, my art teacher, and Mr. Gordy, my criminal justice teacher. I would like to thank you for the support at Snow Hill Middle School. I have served as a volunteer and now a substitute teacher at the school. The best part about the relationships, the best part about the school is the relationships that the teachers have with the students. It's absolutely the best. I asked my daughter earlier what her favorite part was, and all she told me was math class. But her teacher is Miss Wooten, so I wanted to share that with you. So Snow Hill Middle School is asking for 3 budget requests. The first one is to have a competitive salary packet so we can recruit and retain the very best teacher and staff that we have in our facility. The second request is to have our capital improvement plan funded. Our students need to have the best facilities to learn in. While some of our buildings are aging, they are very well maintained. And the third request is to continue to work with other elected officials. If the county passes a MOE, budgets for the school systems, it means staffing cuts. We are successful because of the low students to teacher ratio in our classes. Keeping class sizes small is important to ensuring that every child gets personalized instruction and attention that they really deserve. So I'll take the time to say that thank you for your time. And I know that this is a difficult job for you, but please know that we are very grateful and thankful. So God bless you all and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up from Stephen Decatur Middle School, Dave Messick.
You know, before I read this, it all sounds completely consistent. And it reflects all the statistics you guys shown us this evening. So now I'll see if I can handle this. So good evening. My name is David Messick, and I'm here as a parent representing Stephen Decatur Middle School, and I'm also in SIAC. My son Dorian is currently a 7th grader. Prior to Stephen Decatur Middle School, he attended Berlin Intermediate and Ocean City Elementary School. Worcester County Public Schools is an outstanding school system, and my son and I are proud to be a part of it. I have 3 budget priorities to share with you tonight. The first priority I want to emphasize is the focus that needs to be placed on the employees of this great school system receiving a raise. Our county's teachers urgently need a raise as we are currently one of the lowest salaries in the state. As we saw, I guess we are the lowest. It is crucial to address this disparity and ensure fair compensation for our educators. Last year, it was a minimal increase because of the maintenance of effort budget that was allotted from the county commissioners. With most of the education budget being people, to provide any increases for employees, sacrifices were made to programs. It is difficult to understand that the wealthiest school system in the state of Maryland has the lowest starting salary in the state. We cannot stay competitive if this continues. How will we ever be able to continue hiring and keeping the best if teachers are able to go to neighboring counties and make more money? Another priority is that the money for materials of instruction be restored. It was cut in half the school year in order to employees to get the 1% pay increase and a 1.14% cost of living they received. Last but not least, restoring our summer academy and securing funding for our after-school academy continues to be a priority. Currently, the after-school academy is using grant funding to stay up and running. Although we are grateful money was found, this is only a temporary solution. Those 2 programs fill such a need for our students and families. Every student in this school system deserves equal access to programs and services. Our school leaders should not be put in the position of having to choose which schools and which children have access to after-school programs and summer academies. These programs benefit all of our students. Thank you for allowing me the time to express these needs. I commend you for the hard work for what you do on behalf of our children and the employees of Worcester County Public Schools.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up from Stephen Decatur High School, Donaway. Dr. Donaway.
students. I get to see what these budget cuts will actually do to people. So I'm really just hoping that as I go through these, that you can make these the priorities. So I have 3 children currently attending Worcester County schools. I have a sophomore, Madison. She is at Steve Decatur. I have a 5th grader and a 6th grader, Chloe and Lorelei, who are at BIS. But I came through Ocean City Elementary, Berlin Middle, which is no longer around, and Steve Decatur, and my husband went to Snow Hill. So we've touched, except for Pocomoke, we've touched just about every school system that we have here. And these 3 things really are essential. For as long as I can remember, the jobs in Worcester County schools have been coveted. You really can't find them anywhere. I talked to a couple of music teachers and I said, hey, you know, aren't you going to try in Worcester County? Nope, you have to wait for someone to retire. And my music teacher still had not retired. So we really want to maintain that level of desire to work here. And we really, small class sizes are just not going to do it anymore. We have counties neighboring us that are paying $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 more a year than we're offering, and we really need to find a way to give them an appropriate step and cost of living increase. And I can't even begin to tell you how to do it after seeing those numbers, but we have to find a way. Secondly, the materials of instruction. So in order to give the teachers a raise last year, we had to cut that by, I think, 50% in some schools. That has placed an enormous stressor on these teachers, and we really, again, have got to find a way to get that back to where it was. My daughter plays softball, my oldest, and I can just hear her coach echoing. He always says, find a way, Madison, find a way. We really have to find a way to do this. Lastly, after-school programs and summer transitional programs. I get to see autistic children, children with learning disabilities, just children in need, and these summer programs specifically, and I think after school as well, are really key to keeping their schedules consistent, to keeping them learning through the summer. And if they're cut, I just really worry about specifically those children, but really all of them and how they're going to do. That's going to be essential to their success. And I think we all have the same goal in mind. It's these students and their success. And the more you invest in your students, they come back like I did, as many others do, and they will be your next teachers and your next generation. So these 3 things really, really, really are important. And I think that is all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you next year.
Next up, Snow Hill High School, Tom Harris.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tom Harris. I live in Snow Hill, and I'm a member of the SIAC Rep or Blossom at Snow Hill High School. Maggie and Violet have taken advantage of the great academic programs, the AP courses, the dual enrollment programs, as well as the great athletic program that Snow Hill has built, as well as the many opportunities you have provided to recognize and support artistic talent and leadership. We would like to express our gratitude for Mr. Leland Green, who in his first year has upheld all of the principles that have made Snow Hill High School such a strong school and a good place for us. Every day that our daughters have attended Snow Hill High School, they've felt safe, valued, respected, included, and challenged. And these are feelings that all students should enjoy in Worcester County. I would like to thank you for your hard work and support of the students and teachers of Worcester County. And I'm here to express my deep concern regarding the impending budget decisions and their potential impact on our school system. Specifically, I want to address the vital issues related to staffing, teacher compensation, instructional materials, and the overall well-being of our students. If the county passes a maintenance of effort budget for the school system, staffing cuts become inevitable. Our success is intricately tied to maintaining a low student-to-teacher ratio, a factor that's proven essential for delivering personalized instruction and ensuring every child receives the attention that they deserve. We must prioritize keeping class sizes small, as this directly influences the quality of education our students receive. Our teachers and support staff, who play a crucial role in shaping the future of our community, deserve a competitive salary and benefits package. Currently, Worcester County has the lowest starting teacher salary in the entire state of Maryland. To attract and retain the best educators, we must enhance our efforts to offer more competitive packages. Failure to do so may result in losing valuable teachers to neighboring counties where they can secure better compensation. Moreover, the provision of instructional materials should not be reliant on donations and fundraisers. It is disheartening to see our schools and teachers struggling to acquire the necessary supplies, with educators often dipping into their own pockets to ensure students have the resources they need for a successful learning experience. The mental health and social emotional well-being of our students are of paramount importance, especially in today's challenging environment. We urgently need to allocate more resources towards mental and physical health support for students, as well as provide comprehensive training for teachers and staff to effectively handle students experiencing trauma or crisis. After-school and summer programs are integral components of the student success. While we are fortunate to receive grant funding for after-school programs in the North End schools, the summer programs for non-grant funded schools remain in jeopardy. Eliminating these crucial programs would not only be a disservice to our students, but would also incur significant costs if we ever wish to reinstate them. Every student, regardless of their location, Pocomoke, Snow Hill, Berlin, should have equal access to opportunity to participate in the high-quality programming offered at our schools. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that every student receives equal attention and support to ensure that they succeed. I urge you to consider these crucial aspects when deliberating on the budget. Our community's future relies on the strength of our education system, and adequate funding is indispensable for sustaining the excellence that we have achieved. Thank you for prioritizing the well-being and educational success of our Worcester County students.
Thank you. Next up is Pocomoke High School, Darlene Jackson Bowen.
Save the best for last. Because I came out of Pocomoke too. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I first want to start by just saying thank you so much for holding this space and the opportunity to hear our voices. It's not always a given, so thank you so much. And protocol already having been established. I'm Dr. Darlene Jackson Bowen, a resident in Pocomoke, a transplant who married a local hometown guy from Berlin, Dr. Corey Bowen, who graduated from Stephen Decatur High. I was in the stands cheering because I'm a proud Worcester County girl. I need you to also know that I am a bonus mom of 2 young ladies. So I became familiar with Pocomoke when I moved to the area. And I got involved in the school system because, as I said, I'm a bonus mom and I love them just as well. But I also have a current student matriculating at Pocomoke High School. She did attend the elementary and middle school as well. Her name is Aubrey Jackson Bowen. You might know her as the field hockey player who made the championship state goal. Some might also know her. Some may also know her for being on the Eastern Shore All Chorus. You may know her for being the cow and the starring role, stealing the role in the theater. You may know her for being the sergeant at arms in the Students Against Destructive Decisions Club. Some may know her for being the most valuable player and captain for the track and field. Others may know her for being the Offensive Player of the Year this year, and she received a Sportsman Award, for which I thank you for the letter that she received, Mr. Taylor. I said all that to say that I believe the greatest assets are people. Sean Anker, who wrote The Happiness Advantage, also attests to that. And if we believe in people, we also have to believe in those who shape the mind and the strength and fortitude of our children. And if you believe that, I believe you have to continue to support the educators, the counselors, Mrs. Rain, Coach Fuchs, Coach Purnell, Coach Castaneda, the counselor, Mrs. Bowen. All of them have significantly placed a footprint. It's not just my husband and I. It is a good part of what we do at home and the values that we instill. It is a part of our church and the lives that what we pour into in our faith. But it is the teachers who spend inevitably an enormous amount of time with our kids. They spend more time, waking hours, I should say, shaping the minds, shaping the language, building the character, giving the courage of our children, our greatest asset. Our first budget request is to provide competitive salaries. I'm also an academician. I used to teach. I was a associate professor at UMES. I'm a clinician by training. I'm a physician assistant. But I also have a background in organizational leadership and development. So I'm talking about what I know, what I've learned, the theory, and what I've seen in practice. You can't say we're the best in the county and then we pay people the least in the state. It's counterintuitive. It's almost an oxymoron, right? We must do better. The benefit packages for our teachers have to change. To maintain our excellence as a school system, it's imperative that we attract and retain the very best educators for our youth. Our school ratings, you've heard, and the standardized test scores are among the highest in the state. Our staff are among the lowest paid, not because they don't deserve it. Make it happen. We believe in Nike. We wear their shoes. I see he has on Converse. Make it happen. Make it happen. I'm also a business owner. I lead a nonprofit in Worcester County. And I work with youth. I work in the schools. I believe in what we're doing. Families and children can't afford to lose staff to neighboring counties whose teachers are paid more, not because we don't value them more. Our second request, I'm a member of the SIAC committee. We want to continue funding for small class sizes to best meet the needs of our amazing, diverse group of learners. Small class sizes also help teachers to assist with mental health needs. You know that this pandemic has such scarring impacts. A lot of our children have a lot of undiagnosed mental health challenges. If we could get more support and the teachers to have assistance with mental health needs that are prevalent in many of our youth. Our third request is to restore funding for materials of instruction, as well as to continue to maintain student and staff technology. Teachers are funding some of the materials used in the classroom from their own pockets and are doing so with the lowest salaries in Maryland. Now finally, Pocomoke High School athletics, you know we're a title town, but it requires the equipment necessary to hold our own track meets. This can be a wonderful community event for our athletes, the families, and community members. So we're requesting the same equipment that the other two comprehensive high schools have. I'm on those fields. We want and deserve the same equitable equipment so that we can proudly host these athletic events within Byrd Stadium. Again, I'm Dr. Jackson Bowen. Thank you so much. Keep doing the good work, and I believe you're going to make the right choice for our best asset. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Worcester Technical High School. Kate Gaddis and Mr. Zimmer's here in place.
Clearly, I'm not Mrs. Gaddis. She
Yes.
called me at 5:30 on the side of the highway, trying to figure out how to get here.
Okay.
I said, I'll take care of it. One thing I've learned in my decades in this job is A, have a copy of your speaker's speech, and B, when it's a big board meeting, get a fresh haircut. So I'll tweak her speech a little bit. I know we're near the end, but again, I'm Zimmer. We're used to being at the end of things. My name is Tom Zimmer. I live in West Ocean City. My wife Beth and I are proud graduates of Snow Hill High School. We raised 3 amazing children who all graduated from Stephen Decatur High School and have successful careers. Currently, right now, 4 of my grandchildren are at Ocean City Elementary in grades 3, 2, and God bless kindergarten. There's 2 of them in kindergarten. Worcester County Public Schools are well known for their excellence in all areas, and maintaining this excellence must remain a priority for our system. It is understood that because of financial constraints and rising costs, that any increase in the education budget is a difficult task to accomplish. But in light of that, I ask that you consider 4 important areas of this budget that are critical to maintain. First, we need to continue to fight for competitive salaries for all staff. Budget cuts have put Worcester County low on the statewide salary scale. In order to attract and keep quality teachers and staff, we need to offer better salary packages than our current neighboring counties are offering. Second, Worcester County must restore the materials of instruction to the individual schools. Each school's MOI was cut in half this current year. At Worcester Tech, where the cost of our supplies such as chicken and culinary, wood and carpentry, hair products and cosmetology, metal and welding have all increased dramatically, we will struggle to meet the needs of our students who are learning these valuable trades. We must return to fully funding the MOI. Third, Worcester County is known for keeping class sizes small. Please continue to keep class sizes to a minimum so that we can maintain quality instruction for students to achieve success. Overcrowded classrooms will not help student learning and success. Finally, we need to continue to fund our after-school and summer school academies. Students are able to learn so much that isn't necessarily in the normal school year curriculum. At Worcester Tech, we have been able to bring middle schoolers to our summer program, and this allows them to see what we have to offer and leads to their signing up for our regular year school programs. We are fortunate that our Board of Education has always placed our students first, and I have faith that you will continue to do so. Speaking as a principal, I can't thank you enough for how hard your job is and what you do, but speaking as a grandparent, I want you to continue to work hard for those little people in my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, our WCTA President, Beth Shockley Lynch.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I had an altercation with a bagel and a sharp knife, which has resulted in several stitches. So there will be no science tonight. My apologies. I am
Disappointing.
literally one-handed. I know. Mr. Gordy, outstanding job last night as the MC of the parade. You were exceptional.
Thank you. Blind squirrel gets an acorn once in a while.
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Beth Shockley Lynch. I live at 7744 Shockley Road in beautiful Snow Hill, Maryland. I'm a lifetime resident of Worcester County, a graduate of Snow Hill High School, and I'm a teacher at Snow Hill Middle School. Have it. I proudly serve as the current president of the Worcester County Teachers Association. It is an honor to represent the amazing teachers we have in Worcester County. Their dedication, perseverance, and conviction to the profession is second to none. They work tirelessly, well beyond the school day, for the benefit of our students. Our community is stronger because of their dedication. A strong school system is a reflection of a strong community, and vice versa. I'd like to share with you that my teachers are working just as hard as they've ever worked. But they've really been let down, and they're frustrated. They're doing all the things that they're required to do and more, yet they're disappointed by the lack of funding this year. They feel unappreciated and undervalued. They are facing the challenge of remaining in Worcester County, a place they love and have been dedicated to, or leaving to go to one of our neighbors because the compensation is significantly above ours. And when I say neighbors, I'm referring to the counties closest to us: Wycomico, Somerset, Dorchester, and even Delaware. All these counties would be a reasonable commute for someone to make to go to work, and all of them offer significant increases in pay compared to us. This summer I had an opportunity to speak with 15 individuals who interviewed for jobs in various schools in our county. We offered these individuals a job and they all turned us down. When I spoke with them, I asked, why'd you turn us down? What was your reason? All 15 of them said their number one reason was they turned it down because of the pay. They'd been offered jobs in one or more of our neighbors, and they could make more money in those other counties. And the second reason was they didn't like what they saw in the papers about the discontent between the board and our county commissioners. They had worked hard to achieve a degree and expected to be compensated for a job well done. The job is hard, and they want to work in a place that pays them the best for their efforts. I think everyone that looks for a job opportunity thinks like this, no matter what their profession. Now, as a Worcester County girl, I would have never thought, never imagined I would sit here in front of you and say every other county in the state of Maryland has a higher starting salary than Worcester. Not by $100 or $200, but significantly more. Other counties have made education a priority. They have given consistently yearly COLAs that range from 3% to 9%, depending on the year, in order to keep quality people in education. Because of this, as Mr. Tolbert said, we no longer have the highest per pupil cost in the state. One of the folks that are in front of us is Somerset. On the shore, all of our neighbors have starting salaries that are several $1,000 more than we offer. Yet, we're the highest performing in the state. In English, language arts, 3 to 8, and mathematics, grades 3 to 8, we are number one. We are consistently one of the highest performing systems in the state. And we are often celebrated at the state for our outstanding performance. And now, today, we have the lowest starting salary. What's wrong with this picture? Where did Worcester pride go? The problem with compensation is not just at the beginning of our salary scale. For example, someone with 10 years of teaching experience could go to Wycomico County and make as much as $8,000 more. Someone who's been teaching for 10 years has hit their stride, is a master of their craft, is constantly striving for new and innovative ways to reach their students. If that person leaves our county for more money, we are left with a huge loss of an investment. And the new county, the one that pays them more, will reap all of the benefits that we've trained them in. We used to be able to brag that if you stayed in Worcester County for your entire career, you would have the highest lifetime earnings on the shore. This, ladies and gentlemen, is no longer the case. We are now 8 out of the 9 shore counties for lifetime earnings. What makes this problem even more urgent is that we are in the midst of a teacher shortage. We are not graduating enough students in the field of education to cover the needs that we're going to have in the near future. This means the young people that choose education as their career will automatically gravitate to higher salaries. In order for us to be competitive and hire the best and the brightest that our students deserve, it's imperative that we receive more than maintenance of effort. We are Worcester, and we can afford more than maintenance of effort. Our students, staff, and community deserve more than maintenance of effort. Maintenance of effort, by the way, is the floor, not the ceiling. Other departments in the county receive significant increases, so it can be done. We're not in an economic hardship. If we were, like back in 2008 and 2009, it would be different. But right now, it feels like our teachers are the only ones that are being cut. We're paying the price. And I hear, all the time, well, we support our teachers. We love our teachers. But my teachers don't feel very loved, and they don't feel very supported. Each year before negotiation begins, we survey members to get a feel on what's important to them. This year, money was the #1 request, and their comments were very bothersome. They included, I can go to a neighboring county and make more money. I'm looking into working in Delaware next year if things don't significantly improve. It's too expensive to live in Worcester when I make so little. I'm working harder for less money, and I don't feel I'm appreciated for the job I'm doing. Worcester County Public Schools is the largest employer in the county. That's an awful lot of unhappy voters. I am a product of this school system. I work here, I live here, I raise my family here. And one day I hope to have some grandchildren. And I want my grandchildren to be taught by top-notch teachers, not the teachers that other counties didn't want. Our future depends on a strong public school. It doesn't come cheap, but we can afford it. Just like every other profession, great people want a great salary. I believe in teaching. I believe in this profession. I believe the value of education brings a strong community. If I didn't believe all these things, I wouldn't be president of this association, because the president of this association does not get paid for this job. That's how committed I am to teaching. I want you to know, we want you to know, that we appreciate everything this board has done for us. And I know you are just as frustrated and perplexed as the rest of us are. We want you to fight for the future of the system, for the future of our community. You're amazing people who are here for the right reason. Thank you for being so committed to us.
Thank you. Next speaker, Christina Huslander.
Good evening. I'm Christina Holslander. I reside at 2410 St. Luke's Road. My kids have gone through the Snow Hill schools, and tonight I'm here on behalf of Snow Hill Middle School. Good news, I think we are all on the same team. We all have the same goal. We're here to ensure that Worcester County Public Schools excel at helping our children develop their intellectual minds, their physical capabilities, their social connections, and their emotional well-being, to become critical thinkers, lifelong learners, and positive contributors to society. We are collaborators in this endeavor. There is a saying that what you focus on expands. Another version of that is seek, and you shall find. If we seek average, we will find average. If we seek excellence, we will achieve excellence. Holding a vision of providing a world-class education for all of our students requires investment, meaning fully funding our school system. If we are only funding maintenance of effort, we are pursuing average and mediocre, and we undermine the negotiated teacher contracts, and we hurt our schools. The Stephen Decatur football team that were just the state champions, they did not accomplish their success by focusing on average. Their coach did not say, maintain your effort. Pushing ourselves slightly better every day is how we achieve great success. Quality education is the cornerstone to a thriving community. Like my family, many families move here and stay here because of our high-quality schools. At the Snow Hill Parade last night, where Mr. Gordy did such a great job, and so many others, I saw so many members of the community, and so many of them work within the school system. What happens in our schools impacts our children, our families, our neighbors, our community. Once upon a time, Worcester County Public Schools paid educators the best on the shore, and that is no longer the case. As a parent, I ask you to fully fund our schools, pay our employees the salaries they deserve, keep our class sizes small, continue with the focus of excellence, and within our schools, provide the adequate materials of instruction. I will tell my county commissioners the same. Investing in our educational system is important for the long-term success of Worcester County, and as a taxpayer, I am willing for our taxes to increase to support our schools. What we focus on is what we will achieve. Let's focus on being better every day and invest fully in our public education system. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
As I call your name, I want to remind everybody that individuals may address the board who are signed up to speak for 1 or 2 minutes regarding information, accommodation, or concerns that may need future board attention. Tonight is strictly about our budget hearing. Concerns that are specific to an individual will not be discussed in open session and should be directed to appropriate district personnel for investigation. When you're called, I'm going to call your name up as I have on the list. And next up is Mr. Tom Simon. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you all? So I'm really echoing what everybody else said. I'm Tom Simon, Baker Street in Berlin. I have 2 amazing kids, one in pre-K 4 and one hopefully starting pre-K 3 next year. It is truly amazing to see my son develop and thrive at Buckingham Elementary School. On the 3rd day of school, he was afraid to walk to his class by himself. Dr. Welsh was standing at the door. She could read the anxiety on his face, and she quickly grabbed his hand and offered to walk him to class, and he didn't even say goodbye to me. That's the kind of experience that is above and beyond that we witness every time we visit Buckingham Elementary School. I want to thank you for striving for small class sizes and implore you to continue pursuing that goal. I realize the county commissioners hold the purse strings, but I encourage you to find ways to make sure our teachers are properly compensated. It is quite the paradox to have the best performing schools in the state while having the lowest paid teachers. I know you all are fighting hard for Buckingham, and I request that you continue to fight with ferocity for the new Buckingham. I would also ask you to ensure that pre-K-3 programs are fully funded. We missed out on pre-K-3 with our son due to limited space, but are hoping that our daughter has the opportunity to attend the BES school around next year. I would also like to echo other speakers' comments directed at the county commissioners. As a parent, a community member, a businessman, denying our high-performing school system the proper funding is incredibly short-sighted. Please keep the pressure on the commissioners to fully fund Worcester County Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Karen Abbott, Commissioner Abbott.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
I'm here tonight in support of our teachers, support staff, and bus drivers. At today's commissioner meeting, we reviewed each department's request for the next 5 years in the capital improvement plan. Sorry. This was referred to by one person as a wish list. I'm sure the teachers, support staff, and bus drivers wish they were paid more and paid their promised salary increases. The Board of Ed request in the CIP, out of many others, was a new $37 million administration building. This was taken out by us. Then we have the issue with the accounting system. It's so inaccurate. You have a $1 million surplus found after your audit, but jump to cut summer school, outdoor graduation, and of course, the staff didn't receive raises promised. The county taxpayers fund our schools at $27,000 per student, all told. According to the state, we've been overfunding the schools by $30 million per year, but we will continue to do so. And once again, I want to say you don't have a funding problem, you have a priority problem. I'm asking for you to realize this budget cycle that without our great teachers, support staff, and bus drivers, we don't have a school system. Make them the priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next up is John Abbott.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's John Abbott, Pocomoke, Maryland. I would just like to emphasize what everybody has said tonight. We would all like to see our teachers get the raises that they were promised the last election cycle. And they have again been put at the bottom of the priority list. I would also like to see the support staff and the bus contractors receive raises as the cost of living and inflation rises. The Board of Education administrative positions have grown significantly in the recent past, and coupled with the $36.8 million ask for a new Board of Education building today, should be very telling to teachers and the support staff and the taxpayers of this county of this board's priorities. Lastly, I would like to give this board, I would hope that this board would provide more transparency this budget cycle so that the average taxpayer could understand it and see where our millions in taxes are going. The state of Maryland announced today that they're in deficit and there's going to be cuts right from the top to the bottom in every agency, every department. And we're in uncertain times, especially in over the next year. I would like to commend the commissioners for fiscal responsibility of our county tax dollars. And I feel like that the money that you are already given, $30 million over the maintenance of effort by the state, that you can, with all this technology, you can find a way to make these cuts. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Kimberly Shreve.
Successfully made it.
Yes, you did.
Almost 25 years, never had to do this, but here we go. My name is Kimberly Shreve. I have been teaching in Worcester County since 1996. I am currently a proud Snow Hill Middle School teacher. I'm happy to report that we are having a great year, and this brings hope and reassurance to our faculty, staff, and students. Sadly, though, I am not here to discuss my optimism for my school. I'm here to discuss the education budget. Worcester County Public Schools has always been known as the best school system on the shore. We've always had the best salaries, best benefits, smallest class sizes, and everything we needed to do our jobs. Educators wanted to work here, and they would leave other counties to come here. Sadly, times are changing, and that reputation has been tarnished because of the budget process in Worcester County. This personal agenda of a budget process has caused Worcester County public school employees to feel unappreciated and disrespected. If the county passes only a maintenance of effort budget, there will be devastating consequences. We're looking at losing positions, increasing class sizes, and cuts to programs and materials of instruction. We all know that the single biggest asset to any organization is its people. Teacher and support staff salaries cannot be ignored. Right now, we have the highest test scores in Maryland, yet I had close to the bottom, so now I'm even more upset. We are at the bottom in salaries. And this is how our hard work has been rewarded. We received an embarrassing and insulting 1% pay raise, while other county departments received 5 to 12% pay raises. They've shown us where their priorities lie, and they should be embarrassed. Last year, the county commissioners gave themselves an 8% pay raise, all while some educational assistants working in our county are having to rely on government assistance to feed their families. I know many fantastic teachers that have already left our county for higher pay. We cannot afford to lose more. We deserve more respect than this. We've overcome so many challenges, gotten through the pandemic, learned new technology, pivoted instructional techniques. We spend countless hours working off the clock, hold second jobs, use money out of our own pockets to pay for classroom materials. Why? Because we love our students and we care about their futures. It's time for our citizens and county commissioners to step up and do the same. Put your personal agendas aside, fully fund our budget. It is the right thing to do. Thank you to the Board of Ed. We know you have a difficult job. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. We're thankful for everything that you do for us, and keep fighting for our kids.
Thank you. Next up is Shannon Bone.
Hello again, everyone.
Hello.
If you do not recall, my name is Shannon Bone, and I am a very proud educator at Stephen Decatur High School. Something that resonated with me, among many things, from the last Board of Education meeting on November 21st was that we have a priorities issue, as we were just reminded. I actually agree that we do have a priorities issue. Where can your priorities lie when you cannot fully fund schools? Where do your priorities lie when you continue to use educators, staff, and our students as your political pawns? Where do your priorities lie when you can't even look a teacher in the face? When you walk through our schools, you represent Worcester County Public Schools, but you can't sit there and say that you actually support public education if you cannot fully fund your teachers. You are not in a position of power to then use your frontline staff as your political pawns. You are not using your power responsibly when you are allowing our students to be when our students cannot weld, when our students cannot have the materials that they need, when our students cannot come into school with a teacher that is exhausted from working 4 jobs for the past 10 years because we work in Worcester County. We work in Worcester County because we love our students. We work in Worcester County because we believe in this county. We believe in our Board of Education. We believe in our board for making the right decisions for us. Thank you guys so much for fighting for us. We are at our wits' end as teachers in this county. We are at our wits' ends in how hard we have to fight. I have to request off work to come and ask to be paid a moderate salary. We do have a priorities issue, and unfortunately, our county commissioners have proven that their priorities do not lie with our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Pat Barberly.
Pat Barberly from Newark, Maryland. Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Board members, I am coming before you tonight to request that as you prepare, review, and submit this 2025 budget, that you prioritize the bus drivers who deal with escalating gas prices and escalating parts and repairs and still deliver our children safely each school day. Please prioritize our teachers and supplies they need as they try to offer our children a quality education. And please prioritize our support staff who provide clean, safe schools for our children and healthy meals. After listening to and viewing Vince's presentation on the budget, I see the programs that we cut, the renegotiation with teacher salaries. I did not see where the board administrative budget or staff was cut. I might have missed that, but I didn't see anything about that. Worcester County schools are well funded. We just have a priority issue with how the money is dispersed. I believe the county commissioners give the board a check and the board decides how to use the money. So please prioritize our school bus drivers, our teachers, our support staff, and make sure that they're taken care of. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Bowen? Dr. Bowen, you were on here again. Are you okay to, did you want to speak again? I think you signed up twice. Okay. Kim Patrice is next. Or Patrick, I'm sorry. Looked like a E. Sorry about that.
Hello, a lot of familiar faces here. And I'm going to echo a lot of the things that you've already heard. I'm Kimberly Patrick, and I'm a resident of the county, and I live in Ocean Pines. I've been a teacher here for 23 years, and I'm in my 20th year at Stephen Cater High School right now. Today, I collected 45 essays to grade their personal narratives. It'll take me about 10 minutes per essay to give them the care and attention that they deserve, which is about 7.5 hours, which I would have started this evening, but I've been putting together some notes to speak today, so bear with me, please. I think it's imperative to speak about how we need to fully fund the school budget. And I want to remind everybody that we're doing this because we have an excellent school system. As you've heard, we're first in the state in ELA and math through 3rd to 8th grade. And we are second in the state in ELA and algebra in the later grades. We have outstanding AP scores for our students. In fact, at the AP English Literature has had a 100% pass rate in the past 2 years. People are moving here because of our excellent schools, and that helps to increase our real estate values that are some of the best in the state. They want to be here, and we are excellent because of our teachers. The RAND Corporation has done some research, and in 2019 it indicated that teachers matter more to student achievement than any other aspect of schooling. And Maryland teachers work very hard to become excellent. They work towards their advanced professional certificate. It takes 3 years of effective teaching and their master's to achieve that. However, with a master's degree, It takes about 16 years in a neighboring county and Worcester County to make the average salary for a U.S. worker who has a master's, which is almost $82,000 according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. What's alarming, and you have heard tonight, are that salaries for teachers that are newer and less experienced are well below average. So neighboring county has, for first-year teachers, $54,000 salary, while we have about $50,275. At the 5-year point, it's $58,000 in neighboring county, and it's $51,785 in our county. At the 10-year point, it's $66,000 in a neighboring county, and it's $57,616 in our county right now, according to the scales that I pulled up today on the internet. So we are losing teachers, and we will continue to lose them if they're not provided with a fair and competitive salary. And for that reason, I just wanted to remind our community members, our commissioners, our Board of Education, that we must fully fund the requested school budget beyond maintenance of effort.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Alan Hudson. Alan, I hope you brought some props tonight.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Everybody aboard. First of all, I want to thank you all again for listening to us. And as the bus contractors, I'm the president of bus contractors. Again, I drew the short straw. Thank you for the open dialogue and getting along with everybody. We all are on the same page. We all need to be here to work. And I said I wasn't going to say this word or phrase, whatever it is, maintenance of effort. I'm tired of hearing it. I know you all are too. Everybody that's got up here today should go to their county commissioners. And it's not your fault. It's not their fault. All they're hurting is the kids and everybody else. Our number one priority as bus contractors is to get from point A to point B safely. Merrick's mom was here talking. I'm sure when I show up in the morning at 7:38 to put him on my bus, she's going to expect me to have a safe and reliable vehicle to get him to and from school. And that's really that's all we ask for. So just thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you so much. Okay, anyone else would like to speak? I think that concludes our speaker comments for tonight. Thank everybody for their comments. We do take them to heart, and we appreciate everybody being able to have their voice heard. Now I would, it comes up to our upcoming board meeting. The next regular Worcester County, first of all, I'll put it out to my colleagues. Is there anything that they would like to say this evening?
No, we just appreciate everybody that came, all your presentations. We hear you. We're going to do our very best to do what's best for the students and staff of Worcester County. So thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Buchanan?
Yeah, I'd like to
Please speak into the
also thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know it's been a long evening. Hear what the community says in regard to education. I've heard it before. I've said it before myself because after coming from a classroom for 43 years as a high school teacher, I see what's needed. I see what was wanted. I saw things that I would like to have, not personally, but for the kids. And that's what it is all about. It has always been that way. We're not up here for personal gain or anything. We're here for the kids of Worcester County. And I can't reiterate enough. And I would just tell you, the people that spoke, we hear you. We hear what your requests are, and we're going to do our best to try to get it for you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just also want to thank everyone for coming tonight. It was great to hear what everyone needs from all the schools as well as individual comments. One thing that I am hopeful for that we receive as board members this year will be a complete budget that we are able to review in its entirety so that we can help see where there are some things that maybe we can take out to be able to fully fund or do what we need to do and help strategize and do what we can do and talk amongst board members, because that's what we need to do. So I'm hopeful that we are able to get that early on this year, that we're able to have some really good dialogue.
and work for getting the teachers their raises, getting the bus drivers their raises, getting the support staff their raises, because we can't teach our children if you aren't doing your job and aren't getting paid what you deserve. So thank you all for being here, and I'm hopeful that we can get through this together. Thanks.
Mr. Smack?
I'd like to thank everyone that came here this evening for this budget hearing. We asked the question why the teachers, the support staffs, and others don't get a fair raise. Why they don't. We've got to figure out why and how to do it so that everybody can have a decent salary. Support staff, bus drivers, teachers, and everybody. I want to thank all for coming. Have a blessed holiday, and I love you all.
Anyone else? No? Dr. Andes?
Thank you all for coming, and wear Converses.
Okay. I just wanted everyone out there to know that you have a commitment from this board to work as hard as possible and to work with everyone to support the teachers, the support staff, and the bus drivers. We're going to do our best this year to accommodate you and give you what you deserve. And we appreciate what you do every day. I mean, we can't tell you enough. What you do for our kids is invaluable. And I know that because I have a daughter in high school. And she comes home every day and she's flourishing in high school. She flourished in the intermediate school, in the elementary school. And the people that work hard every day are the teachers out there and everybody that's involved in the support staff and the bus drivers that ensure her well-being. So I just want to say thank you for that. Ms. McComas, I'll leave the last to you if you'd like to say anything.
Oh, is that dangerous? Okay. Actually, I can't even tell you how difficult it's been to sit up here and not cry. Thank you all for your comments. Having been in the classroom, I didn't teach in Worcester County. I taught across the bridge in Montgomery County and then actually in Southern California. But I have experienced amazing and not so amazing things in my teaching career, and that included having small class sizes where we were able to reach all our kids. It was so unbelievable. It was so amazing. And then we hit a budget crisis, and we went from I was a high school teacher, biology. We went from 21 in a classroom to 35 and completely lost it. I know everyone says, well, small class sizes, we can get rid of those. No, we can't. That's why Worcester County is #1, besides having excellent teachers. And I just need to keep reiterating that because I've lived it. And you all have to know it is so amazing to work on this board and have a community that is so unbelievably supportive. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
You have no idea what it means.
Okay, and the next Worcester County Board of Education meeting will be held Tuesday, December 19th, 2023 in the Sara D. Thompson Board Meeting Room, which we are all in the Worcester County Board of Education Central Office located at 6270 Worcester Highway. The open session will begin at 11 a.m. and then we will immediately convene to go under closed session under Articles 3-305B of the Annotated Code of Maryland. The board will reconvene an open session at 12:30, and the board meeting information will be posted on the website at worcesterk12.org, located on board meetings/board docs. And if there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn today's open session meeting. And
Motion to adjourn.
I knew you were going to do it, Dr. Andes. Motion to adjourn by Dr. Andes, and do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Gordy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.